Good evening, everyone. Notice of this meeting stating the date, place, and time has been disseminated as required under the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975. Copies of the agenda, finance report, and personnel reports are also posted on the city's website and Linden TV for the public. This meeting is called to order. Mr. Clerk, can you please conduct a prayer of flag salute?
God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon the members of the governing body in their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the event of an emergency, the proper method of exiting the council chambers is through the 3 doors in the rear of the room. Occupants should proceed down the staircase, out the front door, and move away from the front steps. Any member of the public wishing to speak during the public comment session of at the end of the meeting, please sign in on the white sheets provided in the front of the room with your name and address. Please turn off all cell phones and place them on vibrate. If you must take a call, please leave the council chambers to do so. Mr. Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Ormond.
Here.
Javik.
Present.
Caldwell.
Here.
Mohammed.
Present.
Cosby.
Excused.
Roman.
Present.
Strano.
Here.
Blaine.
Here.
Medina.
Here.
Mrs. Yemekaitis.
Here. Okay. We have approval of the minutes from the regular meeting of May 17, 2022. Can we have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
Council President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of May 17, 2022, and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond.
Yes.
Javik.
Yes.
Caldwell.
Yes.
Mohammed.
Yes.
Roman.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Blaine.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Mrs. Yemekaitis.
Yes.
Council President,
Yes.
point of order. Before we get into the meat of the business and presentations, I want everybody here to wish a person that's beautiful both on the inside and the outside, and I don't think there's anybody here that would dispute that fact. Our Council President's birthday is today, and I want to wish her a happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Council President, happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry to embarrass you like that.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to recognize former 10th Ward Councilwoman Gretchen Hickey. Can you please come up?
I think Council President has hot pink on for me, and I'm...
Well, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
First, let me start by saying, being an elected official is probably one of the most difficult jobs in the world. Trust me. After serving on council for many years and being a mayor, you know, it's like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You give a guy a job, then 20 other people are mad because you didn't give them a job. I mean, it's like sometimes you just can't do anything right, it seems, and you're trying your hardest to try to please and trying to take care of your constituents, and it's what we say, it's sometimes a thankless job. But people do it anyway. They continue, they get up every morning, they put a bright smile on their face, and they do their best, regardless of what obstacles are in their way, regardless of how people feel about them. They just keep forging ahead. And sometimes they get in political battles with the mayor. But that's okay too, because it's only politics, you know what I mean? And such a person is Councilwoman Gretchen Hickey. You'll always be a councilwoman, no matter what. For the rest of your life, we won't call you anything other than councilwoman.
That's right.
Okay? But you earned the title. You worked hard. You were a good councilwoman. And the city is better off that you were a councilwoman. So we want to thank you for your service. We appreciate you coming back, even though your last month was last month. We appreciate you coming back just to spend a few more minutes with us. And as I always say, you're always welcome back home. Okay? So without any further ado, we have a resolution that we're going to present to you, and it reads as following. It's a resolution honoring Gretchen Hickey for her dedicated service as a councilwoman of the 10th Ward. And it reads, whereas Gretchen Hickey concluded her 8 years of service as councilwoman of the 10th Ward on May 31st, 2022. And whereas Gretchen was elected to her first term to office on November 4th, 2014, and began her service to the residents of the 10th Ward and the city of Linden on January 1st, 2015. And whereas during her time on council, Gretchen has served as chairman of the following committees: Public Property and Community Services, Accident Review and Engineering. She has also served as a member of the City Clerks Committee, Negotiations and Labor Relations Committee, as well as liaison to the Shade Tree and Insurance Commission. She has also served as president of the Linden Cultural and Heritage Committee. And whereas her dedication and commitment has benefited the city of the 10th Ward and those of the city of Linden in many ways, her hard work contributed to the efficiency of operations of Linden government and to improving the quality of life for all Linden residents. And whereas Councilwoman Hickey has discharged her duties with great diligence, compassion, diplomacy, and faithful dedication to the residents of the 10th Ward and to all of Linden. Now therefore be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the City of Linden that Councilwoman Gretchen Hickey be and hereby is thanked and congratulated for her years of distinguished public service to the City of Linden, and be it further resolved that this resolution be entered into the minutes of the Council of the City of Linden, and that a copy be presented to Gretchen Hickey in recognition of the foregoing. And it's signed by Michelle Yamakaitis, the Council President, and myself, Mayor Armstead, and attested by Joseph Bodick, our great City Clerk. She said she wants to say 2 words, but she was an elected official, so that's not going to happen.
I just want to thank everybody for being here. The past year has been rough. The council and I, through all the years that I've served, we've had good times, which were really great, and we've had bad times that I'm just going to take as learning lessons and moving forward. I have so much respect for them right now. The past 10 months, nobody started with or had any issues with my personal life. They were all amazing, stuck by my side. And I appreciate that. I truly do. Thank you.
As the mayor said, Gretchen, you always have a home here in Linden. Always. Yep. Okay.
I would tell you about the time my father pulled me over when I was speeding. No, this is a good story. I was about 19 years old, and I was speeding. I was actually drag racing with a friend of mine. Don't try this at home, okay? So her father saw me. I was on Clinton Street, and he saw me go over the bridge, and my car hit, and it did sparks. So he just perused around, and he caught me on Wood Avenue, and he pulled me over and he wrote me a ticket. So I went home complaining to my father. I said, some cop gave me a ticket. And my father said, what was his name? I said, Brooks. He says, I happen to be a friend of Officer Brooks. He says, and if he wrote you a ticket, you must have been doing something awfully bad. Because usually if a police officer knows you're in town, he knows your father, they kind of cut you a break. But I was doing, I think, about 90 miles an hour on Clinton Street, so I deserved about 20 tickets that night. But no, he was a good guy. We laughed about it every chance he saw me afterwards, we talked about it. He said, "You still speeding?" I said, "No, I'm slowing down, Officer Brooks." So it's good things like this, good stories that kind of bind us as a community, and it puts anything that happens politically, you kind of like push all that stuff aside and you remember all the good things that happen in people's lives and their families and how you've known and shared relationships with them for many, many years. Okay, so that's all I have to say about that.
Okay,
God
thank
bless you,
Mayor.
congratulations, okay?
Good luck, Gretchen. All right, so now there's some very big shoes to fill. High heel shoes, as Gretchen always wore here in the 10th Ward. So we're going to move on with the selection of our 10th Ward councilperson. Okay, Councilman Strano?
Yes, Council President. This is a motion for a 10th Ward council member. Whereas Gretchen Hickey resigned from her position as a councilperson of the 10th Ward effective May 31st, 2022, and whereas Gretchen Hickey had been elected as a Democrat, and whereas pursuant to NJSA 40A:16-11, the Linden Democratic Municipal Committee met on June 6, 2022, and selected 3 nominees: Ahmad Chihada, Christine Hudak, and James Moore, for the governing body to select one of these nominees to fill the vacancy. Now, therefore, be resolved that the governing body of the city of Linden does hereby select Christine Hudak to fill the vacancy on a temporary basis until our next general election. I move for approval and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Welcome aboard.
Ms. Hudak, can you please come up for your swearing in? Holding the Bible will be former 10th Ward Councilwoman Gretchen Hickey.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform the duties of the office of 10th Ward Councilperson according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Councilman Roman?
Well, it just wouldn't be fitting if I didn't tell a Hudak story also. Right about the same time I was getting pulled over by Officer Brooks, I had moved back down Linden. I opened up a little store on Southwood Avenue. We called it the Shack. So my grandmother and grandfather were very politically active in town. So one day there was an election, and it was George Hudak, her father, was running against John Gregorio. So Gregorio comes to the house, and my grandfather's in the basement. He says, "Henry, what are you doing to me?" He says, and my grandfather says, what are you talking about? He says, "You're supporting the other guy. You're supporting Hudak now?" He says, "I thought your arm stairs were with me." He says, we are. He says, "Well, you got a Hudak sign hanging out there, on your property." My grandfather said, "I don't have no Hudak sign up there." So my grandfather looks out the window, and there it was, hanging on strings. Every time my grandfather would come home in the house, my grandmother would hang the Hudak sign out the window. Okay, so when he went out, she'd pull it back in with the string, so he wouldn't see it. Okay, so so I said, "Grandma, I thought we were Gregorio guys." And she says, "Yeah," she says, "but I love that George Hudak. He's such a nice man." And he was a nice man. He was the councilman there. He was a very compassionate and understanding man. And I think Gregorio just barely squeaked that election out by a few votes. I think it was like under 50 votes he won that election by. And that's a testament to what type of guy her father was. That he didn't have a whole lot of money to run a campaign with, but people voted for him because they liked his personality and the type of individual that he was. So that's my Hudak story, okay?
Thank you,
I
Mayor.
can't keep telling all these stories. We'll be here all night.
Okay, Mayor, you can stay down there. We have some proclamations.
Okay.
All right. Mcmanus Middle School Technology Program we'll start with.
Okay. Which one's McMahon?
While he's getting that, I would just want to say congratulations, Christine. Welcome.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to get away from down Linden. I can't do it because I have the principal, Mrs. Atia Perkins, who is from down Linden. Her family is from down Linden. We were some of the first families, African-American families that I said moved into this town, you know. In fact, I'll tell you a Cunningham story. She's a Cunningham. My mother's sister married a Cunningham. So and my father's brother married into the Cunningham family. So she comes in on both sides, you know what I mean? That's just the way it was back then. There wasn't a lot of folks down there. They had to marry somebody, right? But it's good. Listen, good families come together, and this is the result, an end result when good families come together, you know? So, well, anyway, we have a proclamation for Mcmanus Middle School. It says, "Whereas students from Miles J. Mcmanus Middle School undertook the challenge of building a computer because they were unhappy about the level of power on the computers that they use daily. And whereas the students, along with the guidance of technology teacher Howard Schultz, they were able to build their own computer. And whereas the students first discussed building a PC to give them more processing power for live streaming, graphics, gaming, and camera switching, their creation has a 32 megahertz Ryzen 7 5800 processor and a 32 gigabyte of RAM that they learned about while watching online, step-by-step tutorials on how to build a PC. And whereas the students diligently worked before and after school to make their project a reality, and now their finished product is used for the technological benefit of Mcmanus Middle School, including, but not limited to, weekly Tiger News, live show, which airs highlights in school news. And now, be it resolved that the City of Linden does recognize and commend Mohammed Guy, Gabriela Vasquez, Christopher Joyner, Jacob Gonzowski, Max Rodriguez, Jakai Kuntz Motley, Matthew Kozak, Jeriah Watson, and Maximilian Jadzuk for their commitment to completing this project and to the technology program, and that the City of Linden does recognize and commend Howard Schultz for encouraging and enabling his students to commit and complete this project. Be it further resolved that I, Derek Armstead, Mayor of the City of Linden, do hereby issue this proclamation recognizing these students and their teachers for their contribution to the technology program and for the desire to excel in an area, and hope that they continue their efforts. As mayor of the city of Linden, on behalf of myself and council, we congratulate and commend you all. Keep up the good work.
I'd like to ask the
I
students
understand.
and their teacher to come up, please.
I understand there were several of you young people who were there, so you all can come up.
Yep.
We have a
The
proclamation for all
students
of
and the
you.
teachers.
And forgive me if I messed up your names, okay? It's just something that goes on here on a regular basis. Come on up, guys, come on up. Everybody gets a proclamation, so you can hold one, you can hold one, and you get a proclamation. And you get a proclamation. And you get a proclamation. Everybody gets proclamations here. I wish we could give you cards, but we don't.
Uh-oh.
Thank you, buddy. That's a great job. Great job. Okay. You wanna go up there?
All right, Mayor. We'll move on to the next proclamation for the 80th birthday of Doris Bolden. Ms. Bolden, would you like to please come up?
If you want me to read it first, I'll read it and then you can come up. Fair enough?
Okay.
And I'll talk about Mrs. Bolden. I got Miss Bolden's story too. Okay. Well, when I first started politics, you know, it took courage for certain people to support me. Here was this young guy, 28 years old, you know, and there, you know, people don't want to give young people a chance. And she happened to live very close to the gentleman I was running against. And for her to put a sign up on her lawn for me took courage. And she did. She said, and her and her husband both said, we don't care. We believe in giving young people a chance. And that's exactly what they did. And I guess, like my mother, they saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, because I'm the mayor now, and we really appreciate all those people in the very beginning who supported me unconditionally. You know, now her and I go to the same church, okay, and aside from her support for me, she's just a good person, and we love her, and that's why we're giving her this proclamation. She's always worked in the community. I can't recall any time I've ever asked her for help, not election type of help, just help in doing something and trying to make something happen in the community, that she said no. She's never said no, and we appreciate that. And 80 is a milestone. I don't care what anybody says. You know, there are people who are living, as you'll see later on this evening, living to 100, but 80 is a milestone. It really is. I just pray to God that I could make it to 80 myself and be of sound mind and healthy. So without any further ado, we're going to read the proclamation from Mrs. Doris Bolden. And it reads, whereas Doris Bolden was born and raised in Kingston, North Carolina on May 24th, 1942. Graduating from Savannah High School in 1960, she moved to Linden, New Jersey. And whereas Doris Bolden, after moving to Linden, met James Bolden on June 15th, 1968, and married. And whereas Doris Bolden attended Essex County College in Newark and received an AAS degree in early childhood education on August 22nd, 1978. Doris transferred her college credits to Keene University in Union in 1980 while studying to earn another degree in sociology. And whereas Doris Bolden is the mother of two devoted children, Jennifer Denise Givens and James Aaron Bolden. She also is a proud grandmother of Jordan Aaron Givens and Jalen M. Bolden, and they have been a blessing from God in heaven. And whereas Doris Bolden has worked in the Linden public school system for the past 25 years, where she enjoyed teaching special education students, and she finally decided it was time to retire on October 31st, 2017. She turned in the papers, but she will never forget that this was a calling from God. And whereas Doris Bolden is a member of the First Baptist Church in Linden for over 40 years, and is a member of the Outreach Ministry and Nurses Aids Ministry, it is at First Baptist that she finds peace, joy, and the Spirit of God's blessing. And whereas Doris Bolden, in her free time, finds joy in reading the Bible and praying to God for other people who need prayer now and for their eternal life in heaven. And whereas Doris Bolden also loves to travel with family and members of the First Baptist Church and other churches, and she is currently a member of Roselle Active Senior, and she has traveled on cruise ships to many islands, and she prays God continues to bless her with good health. Amen. And now therefore it be proclaimed that I, Derek Armstead, Mayor of the City of Linden, in the state of New Jersey, on this 21st day of June 2022, on behalf of the City of Linden and myself, do hereby wish Doris Bolden a very happy 80th birthday and want to applaud her for her many accomplishments and thank her for her dedication and spiritual accomplishments during her lifetime, and to let her know that she has been an invaluable member of the Linden community, and she's deserving of all the wonderful, amazing things life has to offer. And it's signed by myself, Derek Armstead, Mayor of the City of Linden. I'd be remiss if I didn't let the councilman say a few words, but
Mayor, City Council President, Ms. Doris Bolden, the honoree, I'm honored and privileged beyond words, and I won't be long. Two things you don't give to a mic to, a preacher and a politician. I happen to be both. I went to Ms. Bolden's retirement party, and something told me, you know, this lady can help you. And happened to be in graduate school, was on my way to graduate school at University of Chicago where I'm a student. So I said, I need some tutoring in English, and I was doubting myself. So I went to Ms. Bolden, And she said, sit down and write an essay. And I'm nervous. She said, no, just write it. Describe what you saw at the retirement party. I described it. And almost with tears in my eyes, which I've been told maybe some 50 years of my life in several universities, that you write and run on sentences. And Miss Bolden looked at me with a stern teacher's look. She said, Mr. Muhammad, you don't speak and run on sentences, and you don't write and run on sentences. And I went on to be admitted to be a graduate student at the University of Chicago, and now I'm in the process of finishing that degree. If it were not for Doris Bolden, the teacher, who hasn't retired, don't let anybody think he retired. I don't know if she's taking on any students or not, but she's an excellent teacher, and I was one of her special ed teachers. Thank you, and God bless you, and God bless Linden.
Okay, Mayor. Next, we have a presentation for Ernestine Roberts for her 100th birthday.
Now, did Mrs. Roberts make it tonight? No, she didn't. Okay,
No.
well,
Okay.
we've got a replacement, well, not a replacement, but Mrs. Roberts' grandson and granddaughter. Okay. Is it grand or great? Great. I thought it was great. Yeah, okay. So Mrs., I tell you, I got a story for everybody, okay? So Mrs. Roberts is not here, but one of Mrs. Roberts' great-grandchildren, his name is, we call him Chucky James, God rest his soul, is no longer with us. He was my best friend. You know, we were such good friends that when it came time to play Pop Warner football, when his aunt wouldn't let him play, my father went around the house to talk to her to convince him that football wasn't that dangerous of a sport. My father somehow convinced her that he could get hurt walking on the sidewalk, and so somehow he was allowed to play football. We were the best friends, you know, two very good friends. And his grandmother, great-grandmother, has reached the golden age of 100, and that's that's an accomplishment, you know. Now, we have a very long proclamation here. It's very, very, very long. Okay. She's got quite a few accomplishments. But most importantly, her biggest accomplishment, I'm telling you, was being a part of her family's life and making sure that they came to be good citizens in Linden and throughout the state and throughout the country. We're thankful for that. We have a key to the city that we're going to be presenting to her, and it reads, celebrating your 100th, celebrating your birthday, 10 decades of memories, 1,200 months of happiness, 5,217 weeks of love, 26,525 days of wisdom, 876,608 hours of laughter, and a congratulations on your 100 years blessed. Okay, and it's the key to the city. I'm sorry she couldn't be here to receive it, but I'm sure Lizzie's going to take it to her and put it on her mantle somewhere. And I want to say, young man, did anybody ever tell you look like Chucky James? And Chucky James is my best friend, you know what I mean? And that's obviously his cousin who looks just like him. Congratulations, Mom. You're great to meet you. Great man. Yes. We met her at the school a couple of weeks ago. But we had a little celebration for her at the school a couple of weeks ago. You know, and again, come on up. Yeah.
Congratulations again. Okay. Okay, Councilwoman Ormond. You have a resolution for James and Jesse Terry for 30 years of service.
And I'm going to ask the mayor to come up also. The Terry family. Let me get my glasses. Glasses.
Glasses, I thought you said. They said you want the mic.
Mayor, I want you to stay. I don't want you to stay up here with us. Okay. Well, I'm going to act like my brother because I have a J&J story. My son catches a school bus and has caught a school bus since the age of 3. He's now 21. And every year I wonder what bus contract they're going to assign to the special education program. Sometimes it's a huge bus, sometimes it's a little bus. Every year there's a problem on the first day of school. They take his address, they populate it into the next field, and they pick him up at the wrong house. I get phone calls saying, "Hi, we don't have your son." I said, "No, we're standing out on the front porch." Well, when J&J has the contract, I can always be guaranteed that Mr. Hearns, who's been his driver for a long time, knows what house to come to. There are days when the bus is late, and my mother is in a panic. "Lisa, it's 3:30 and Jason's not home." Well, other bus companies, I would have to call the school, call the traffic department, track down the bus. I get a phone call when the bus is running late from Melissa or her staff. "Hi, Lisa. I just want to let you know that the bus picked Chase up a little bit late. He should be in the next 15 minutes. And sure enough. So when I get the letter that J&J is going to be my son's carrier, I know that for the whole entire year, I'm cool. Because he's cool. Because they're cool. So, without any further ado, I'm going to read this resolution honoring James and Jesse Terry for more than 30 years of service to the city of Linden. Whereas James and Jesse Terry were both born in rural North Carolina in the 1940s to uneducated poor farmers, and whereas James and Jesse Terry both were part of the Great Migration that brought thousands of African Americans to New Jersey and other northern cities in search of jobs and opportunities that were unavailable to them in the segregated Jim Crow South. And whereas James and Jesse Terry married in New Jersey in 1965, started a family, began their own business venture in the 1970s with a chain of laundromats in Union County. And whereas James and Jesse Terry established a private minority-owned school bus company named J&J Transportation in 1986. And whereas J&J was relocated to 1530 Roselle Street in Linden in 1991, when it became a school bus contractor with various boards of education in Middlesex and Union counties, and including Linden. Whereas in its new location, J&J was now able to enlarge its staff and fleet to 14 vehicles and 13 employees. And whereas after a decade of steady growth, J&J expanded to 80 vehicles and 200 employees and relocated to 634 East St. George Avenue in Linden in 2001. And whereas J&J Transportation became one of the first Black-owned properties on St. George Avenue in Linden, and whereas James and Jesse Terry served as mentors and investors to numerous aspiring small business owners in Linden and throughout Union County. And where as a result of their accomplishments, James and Jesse Terry have remained pillars of the community as prominent business owners in Linden for more than 3 decades. And whereas J&J Transportation continues to serve the families of Union County Transportation for hundreds of school children annually for nearly 40 years after its founding. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the mayor and council of the city of Linden that they wish to honor James and Jesse Terry for more than 30 years as a minority business owners and the pillars of the city of Linden. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be placed in the minutes of the city council of the city of Linden in permanent recognition of James and Jesse Terry, and a copy be presented to them. Passed on June 21st, 2022, signed by Council President Michelle Yamakaitis and Mayor Derek Armstead and our City Clerk, Joe C. Bodek. Thank you. said, thank you for taking such good care, not only of my child, but of all the hundreds and hundreds of children that are in your care. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we're going to now move on to ordinances on hearing, beginning with Ordinance 6636.
An ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, an ordinance establishing a schedule of titles, salary ranges, and regulations for maintaining the classification and salary standardization plan of all employees of the City of Linden, passed August 15, 1995, and approved August 16, 1995, adds Schedule 4-QQ4.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the audience who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Council President, I move that the hearing be closed on ordinance number 6636. The ordinance adopted, and I request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak? Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, ordinance 6637.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 5, Animal Control, of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance adopting and enacting the revised general ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23, 1999, and approved November 24, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, Chapter 5, entitled Animal Control, Section 3, entitled Vicious Dogs, shall be deleted in its entirety and replaced.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the audience who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Council President, I'd like to move to close the hearing on Ordinance 6637 for the ordinance to be adopted and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
I abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, ordinance 6638.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 5, Animal Control, of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance adopting and enacting the revised general ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23, 1999, and approved November 24, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, Chapter 5, entitled Animal Control, Section 4, entitled Violations, shall be amended to read as follows. Any person who shall violate the provisions of subsection 5-1.2 shall be liable to a penalty of not less than $5 nor more than $50 for the first offense, and not less than $25 nor more than $50 for each subsequent offense, to be recovered in the manner provided by NJSA 40:19-15:19 sequence. Any person who shall violate any other provision of this chapter shall be subject to the provisions of subsection 1-5.1 of the general ordinances of the City of Linden.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the audience who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Council President, I'd like to move to close the hearing on Ordinance 6638, move to have it adopted, and I request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakadis?
Yes. Ordinance 6639.
An ordinance amending the redevelopment plan for the Southwood Avenue redevelopment project pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, NJSA 12A-1 at sequence.
Okay. Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the audience who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Okay. Can you please state your name and address for the record?
Sure. Good evening. John Kaiser, 23 West Munsell Avenue. So that's my area, Southwood Avenue. Could somebody just explain what the amendment is and all that?
Amy?
Sure. He's raising his hand.
Oh, I'm sorry. Amy, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, miss. Oh, please.
Okay. Mr. Antonelli, sorry.
Sure. The amendments are, with regard to the redevelopment plan, actually imposes more stringent parking requirements on the property. When that redevelopment plan was adopted with a prior administration many, many years ago, it didn't require any parking on site, so this now puts those parking requirements into the plan, and will subject the, there's at least one parcel that is currently, I guess, undeveloped, and now will be required to comply with the parking requirements.
What's that on Morris and Wood? The undeveloped one you're talking about?
I'm not sure the exact location, but it's the developer of that area currently owns a parcel there, and again, this just requires them to meet the parking requirements.
Gotcha. So the Southwood Avenue redevelopment project is what exactly?
It includes a Phase 1, Phase 2, and a Phase 3 that was defined in whatever 2010 ordinance that was passed by the city council.
Gotcha, cool, thank you.
Okay. All right. Anyone else from the audience wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Council President, I'd like to motion to close the hearing on 66-39, adopted, and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay. Ordinance 6640.
Bond ordinance authorizing various capital improvements for the Division of Engineering, appropriating the issuance of $4,950,500 bonds or notes of the city to finance part of the cost thereof.
Okay, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Council President, I move that the hearing be closed on ordinance number 6640, ordinance adopted, and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6641.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23, 1999, and approved November 24, 1999, and is amended and supplement. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 7, Traffic, Section 7-34, Don't Block the Box, shall be, and the same is hereby amended as follows. 7-34B, add intersection North Style Street and West Blanky Street, west side.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing on 66-41, adopted, and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6642.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23, 1999, and approved November 24, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 7, Traffic, Section 7-22, stop intersections, shall be, and the same is hereby amended as follows. Add stop intersections, Fay Avenue and Hagel Avenue. Stop sign shall be installed on Fay Avenue, northeast corner.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any written communication been received?
No, ma'am.
Is there anyone from the audience who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing on 66-42, adopted, and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, we'll now move on to consent agenda items. All items listed with asterisks are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member so requests. We have items number 1 through 5. Does any council member wish to remove an item? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion, please?
Council President, I move consent agenda items number 1 through 5 for approval. Request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Abstain on 2B, and yes to the rest.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. All right, we'll now move on to committee reports and comments from members of the governing body. We'll start with Councilwoman Ormond.
Okay, thank you, Council President. I'm going to also just beg your indulgence because there's a lot that I need to go over today. I'm going to start off with my finance report. Approval is requested for the following finance actions: the payment of bills totaling $7,923,611.55. Bills have been signed by the mayor, council president, and finance chairwoman, and a detailed check register and vouchers are on file in the clerk's office. We are in receipt of the investment made by the city treasurer for the month of May at the rate of 0.05%. I move for approval and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Okay, for my traffic report, I hereby submit the monthly financial reports from the Division of Transportation and Parking for the month of May 2022. This report includes a collection of on- and off-street parking meters, railroad parking lots, railroad parking permits, and merchant parking permits. Trenton side collections, $1,586. New York side collections, $565. Railroad credit card transactions, $30,621.28. Railroad permits, $431. Online railroad permits, $456. Parking meter collections, $11,342.70. Merchant parking, 0, for a grand total of $45,001.98, submitted by Tyrone L. Gibbons, the traffic maintenance supervisor. My next report, real briefly, is about our revenue and enhancement report. So I've got to pull this one up electronically. So if you just I want to beg your indulgence for a second. Okay, I want to start off by mentioning or just stating that we've had a lot of revenue, a lot of development going on in the city of Linden. That's not possible unless you have a very strong, creative, determined, and I have to also say, ingenious mayor who's driving the vehicle. While I'm his sister and I may think all these great, wonderful things of him, there are a lot of people that do. So I would like to just let everyone know that I would like to congratulate my brother, Derek, the Honorable Mayor Armstead, on receiving the prestigious Karen S. Franzini Public Partner Award. This award recognizes champions of economic development that inspires and transforms communities. And I can honestly say that he has definitely transformed and inspired a lot of us. Mayor Armstead has taken land that was a tax burden and has turned it into revenue-generating property. The new businesses along Route 1 and 9 corridor, luxury apartments, warehousing, converting a landfill to a solar farm, bringing a new industry like Aries and Advanced Greek. All of these developments have helped us stabilize taxes, and in the future will continue to do so. I just want to say that my grandparents, who had mentioned earlier that were very politically involved, would be so proud of him. As a matter of fact, my grandmother said one day that he would be mayor. And I would also like to say that my father would be extremely proud of him, and I'm sure that they're smiling down on him from heaven. Mayor Armstead, congratulations on that wonderful award. It was a fantastic event, and I, your sister, am so proud of you.
That's right.
Okay, now on to more of my traffic report. Street of the Week will continue throughout the summer. If you're going to speed, you're going to get caught. We're not going to tell you really where they are, but you'll see little blue signs, and if you get a ticket, there's no backing out of it. Stop speeding, please slow it down. There's going to be a bike rodeo on July 22nd from 2 to 5 p.m. at Dobson Park. Union County and the Police Department will be on scene to assist in helmet fitting and sizing for our children, teaching them safety techniques, and there will also be lots of prizes for the kids. We did it, I believe, a couple years ago in Wilson Park. A phenomenal turnout. It's for the safety of all our children. There is a state law that you have to have a helmet on, so there's not going to be any excuse. If you don't have a helmet, bring your kid out, get fitted, and let him ride. Parents also, please, bicycle safety, especially during the summer, is important. Drivers in the cars, they're not always looking out for your children, so we have to teach them to be safe as well. We had our first ward yard sale on June 11th. Thank you for those who have participated. We didn't have a huge turnout, but we did have some, so once again, thank you for those who have participated. Our next one is going to be in October. We're going to probably do some of the same multiple, wards, and, a good time was had by all. What's going on in our community and some of our wards, we have a lot of abandoned houses. Investors are buying up houses with the attempt to rent them out, but the rental prices are very, very high, and a lot of people just aren't renting them. So these houses are laying around and vacant. The grass is growing high, they're looking terrible. If you see a house that's vacant and the grass is out of control, and even in winter there's snow, all you have to do is just give me a call, 908-370-6482. I will be glad to report it to the Board of Health. Or you can take a picture and email it to me. Just make sure that you have the actual street house number so I can actually see. And you can email that to me, linden-nj.gov. Street cleaning will be improved on Clark, Baldwin, Seymour, and Walnut. It seems to be where I'm getting the most of my calls from. Cars must be moved.
Councilwoman, you need additional time?
Yes, I'm going to need additional time. Thank you. Cars must be moved. In order to sweep the streets properly, do not hesitate to call me if you see somebody that's parked out there that habitually refuses to move their car. Our streets deserve to be clean. The residents deserve it. There's also a little video that's going to be coming out to show you how to put your cans in the right-of-way so the street sweepers can come by and clean your streets properly. Please, cut your grass. Grass is picked up every 2 weeks. You can put them in brown bags if you need them. You can give me a call. I have already talked with someone from DPW where we can get these extra bags. It is a rainy season, and you're going to have to mow your grass a little bit more frequently. Please just keep it cut. You can also take your excess grass to the recycle center on Donaldson Place if we have rain and the bags are going to get wet because that smells bad. So you do have the opportunity to move it and bring it down there. If you run into any issues, please just once again reach out and give me a call about your grass, 908-370-6482. Last but not least, this is the place where you're going to get all of your information, not necessarily Facebook. Postings about yard sales and events that are going on in our community, you can catch it on YouTube. You can catch it on Comcast Channel 36 and Verizon 42. If you don't want to listen to the whole entire council report, fast forward to your ward's representative, fast forward to your council person. This is where you're going to know what's going on in the community. Have a wonderful summer, have a wonderful July, and I'll see you guys next month. Thank you. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Okay, Councilman Javik?
Thank you, Council President. As chairman of the Fire Committee, the Fire Prevention Bureau collected the following monies during the month of May, a total of $9,090.19. Regarding the Linden Fire Department ambulance billing, the amount of $72,438.22 for May have been added to the total deposits for 2022, totaling $363,571.98. Good evening, everybody. Well, first, I'd like to congratulate our Linden Fire Department Junior Fire Academy. Their graduation will be on July 1st. In regards to our Board of Health, we had a great turnout for our rabies vaccination clinic. 74 dogs and 21 cats were vaccinated. The daytime clinics had somewhat of a lower turnout, and maybe next year we will increase our evening clinics. Also, free microchipping was very popular, with over 35 administered. COVID grants are nearing the end of the first year, and we are reapplying for a second year. These will be to supplement vaccination efforts and support our outreach efforts of our local health outreach coordinator and COVID generalists. Also, the Board of Health is continuing their process of reviewing and updating ordinances and codification with the General Code. On Monday, June 27th, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m., the Health Department will hold the last clinic at the Linden Library, as the vaccine is widely available for free throughout the state of New Jersey right now. Also, a Linden Health and Wellness Fair will be held on Saturday, October 15th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Linden Multipurpose Center, which is at 1025 John Street, featuring free flu and COVID vaccinations, also blood pressure and blood sugar readings, vendor tables, and a walk and talk with Mayor Armstead. So please put that on your calendars. Recent information and inquiries regarding the poison hemlock in the area can be addressed to our Board of Health. The phone number is 908-474-8409, and information and direction is on our City of Linden website as of today, I believe. In the second ward, paving has been continuing along with restoration of curbing and sidewalks. Striping is following. By School Aid, I noticed that it was all striped today already. There may be additional stop streets that we're going to look at maybe implementing as traffic flow is assessed now that we're paving all the streets from, say, Wood Avenue to Stile Street. There's well, DeWitt Street really has only one stop sign in that whole area. Regarding Lexington Dog Park between Lexington and Marion Avenues, it's getting a good usage, and we will be installing an additional dog fountain and more seating shortly. My goal for this park is to build it out completely and make it more desirable and useful features for the residents of Linden. I can be reached at 908-494-4608 or email me at bjavick@linden-newjersey.gov. On Facebook, Second Ward Councilman Barry E. Javik. I also encourage everyone to visit our City of Linden website for all information. Thank you, Council President, and the report.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Caldwell.
Thank you, Council President. As the Chair of Code and Construction, there was, for the month of May, 136 permits issued. The permit fees received was a total of $425,164, and certificate fees received was $1,200. As for the IT report, IT is status quo. There's no updates. They didn't have any updates for me. I just want to tell my third ward neighbors, please slow down. I have children. My neighbors have children. We just had the lines painted by Dobson Park and the PAL. People are speeding all the time, and they're gonna kill someone. And I hope it's no time soon, but I just need everyone to slow down and just be careful of the pedestrians and the children. I also, if you see any lights in the neighborhood that are out, please email me, take a picture of the pole, send it to me. I could be reached at mcaldwell@linden-nj.gov. My phone number is 908-531-0676. You could text me. You know I'm here for you. Oh, and happy birthday again, Council
Thank you,
President.
Councilwoman.
And happy Juneteenth. That concludes my report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilman Mohammed?
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, my dear friends and neighbors. Summer officially arrived today at 5:14 a.m. It's been a busy month thus far. And your awful season, but especially like this time of more to really come to life. With assistance from multi-city departments, we've been able to address numerous issues within our district, including the improved appearance of George Park and a few unsightly yard conditions in our locations. We owe it to ourselves and one another to care for the city properties and our own for the greater good of all citizens. Please continue to reach out with any and all questions or concerns regarding the fourth ward. I can be reached at 908-463-4443 or A. Muhammad at Linden-NewJersey.gov. And I'd love to take this opportunity to thank Councilperson Brett for his service and to also welcome our newest councilperson, Christine Huda. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Okay, Councilman Roman.
Thank you, Council President. I will be brief. Happy birthday, Michelle.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Councilwoman Hudak. Please serve well and serve with honor. My mother has lived in the 10th Ward for what will be 40 years in September, in the same house. I know the neighborhood very well, so if there's anything you could ever need in that neighborhood, I'm still always there with hanging out and helping my mom, so please let me know. We had a 6th Ward garage sale as well. I want to thank the participants that participated. A low turnout. We had some terrible weather coming that weekend and ended up canceling the 6th Ward cleanup. We are going to reschedule at a later date because of the weather. Paving has not started in the 6th Ward yet. However, it will, and we are doing a ton of small streets that were affected by the water gas work over there. So just keep, it's going to be all of Clinton Street in between Linden and 1 and 9, as well as a lot of the side streets. So just keep a lookout for that, and please work with the people that put up signs. If your car gets towed because we're paving, we're going to pave that day. So we are going to tow your car. Please take a look at those signs when they go up. These 6th Ward lots over near Pleasant, 1 and 9, I know that they're in the process of getting redeveloped. However, if you go over down Pleasant near Walmart, you will see these lots. They're empty. They are old GM lots. I talk about them every month. The fences are falling down. The grass is so overgrown at this point. It's about 2 years worth of grass. It looks like almost like humans don't live there anymore, and it's like Armageddon. If you've ever seen like I Am Legend. And like somehow there's a deer hit, jumped the fence while as it was getting hit, or was somehow got there and passed away inside a gated property. I really want to give a shout out to Councilman Strano and more importantly Mary Beth, who called me pretty much immediately as that happened the same day, and we were able to take care of that situation before it got out of hand. So thank you, Mary Beth. Anyway, it's time we start finding them or finding out how we can get them, because I've reached out to them several times, and there's grass that is about 5 to 6 feet high in the area. So I hope through our construction code department and our code enforcement, we can bring a resolution to that. I know that when you're trying to redevelop a property with the FAA involved and the economic development boards and the planning board and private entities and this council, it can take a while to redevelop something, and it will, but in the meantime, they're gonna have to take care of this property. And also in regards to upkeep at Wheeler Park, I'm pretty sure Wheeler Park's just about the busiest park in the city, but it is a county facility. We are working with the county to fix a few things. The main bathroom was recently vandalized, and the sinks and other toilets were destroyed. So as they get repaired, we're working on other arrangements to make sure that there's bathrooms available to the public. So I will be continuing to work on that. And with that, that concludes my report. Happy 4th of July, everyone. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Okay, Councilman Strano.
I may need a few more minutes at the end.
Okay.
I'll try to be as quick as I can. I'm going to start off with the confidential personnel report for the Personnel Department. In the Board of Health, number 1 is to approve the appointment of Christine Radovanik, a registered environmental health specialist, part-time, not to exceed 25 hours per week, at the annual rate of $28.17 per hour. Subject to the successful completion of the city's background check, effective July 5th, 2022, the city grants Mrs. Radovanik a residency waiver, and this is grant funded. B is to approve the appointment of Marjorie Den Rival, COVID journalist, full-time at the annual salary of $42,000, effective July 5th, 2022, subject to the successful completion of the city's background check. Item 2, under construction code, is approving the rescinding of the appointment of Thomas Gassler as a full-time code enforcement officer effective May 18, 2022. 3, in the Department of Community Services, Division of Engineering, approving the appointment of Stephanie Nicotiadis, assistant engineer, full-time at the annual salary of $62,000 effective September 6, 2022, subject to the successful completion of the city's background check. B is to approve the appointment of Anthony Merlo, an engineering aide, full-time at the annual rate of $15 per hour, effective July 5th, 2022, subject to the successful completion of the city's background check. C is to approve the appointment of the hire of Curtis Humphrey, Public Works Inspector, part-time, not to exceed 25 hours a week, at the annual rate of $18 per hour, effective July 5th, 2022, subject to the successful completion of the city's background check. In the Division of Buildings and Grounds, approving the appointment of Mark Sanchez, laborer, Tier 1, full-time at the annual rate of $17 per hour, effective July 5th, 2022, subject to the successful completion of the city's background check. B is to approve the appointment of Desmond Thomas, laborer, Tier 1, full-time at the annual rate of $17 per hour, effective July 5th, 2022, subject to the successful completion of the city's background check. C is approving the appointment of Robert Dillion, laborer, Tier 1, full-time at the annual rate of $17 per hour, again effective July 5th, 2022, and subject to the successful completion of the city's background check. In the Division of Public Works, A, approving the posting of the public advertisement to all contiguous counties, as well as internal posting for the following positions. A is the mechanic 2 in the Division of Public Works. B is 2 diesel mechanics in the Division of Public Works Garage, to replace a position previously vacated by Christopher Horvath and is an open position. C is the approval of the seasonal list, which is on file in the city clerk's office. In the Division of the Municipal Garage, A is to accept the resignation in good standing of Christopher Horvath, diesel mechanic, Tier 2, effective June 10th, 2022. B is accepting the resignation in good standing of Anthony Sestito, laborer, Tier 2, effective July 8th of 2022. Moving on. The Recreation Department, approving the amended appointment date of Amanda Williams, part-time recreation leader, to July 5th of 2022. B is approval of the seasonal list on file in the city clerk's office. 5, in the Department of Construction and Code, A is to approve the appointment of Myra Arginell, clerk 1, full-time at the annual salary of $34,548, effective July 5th, 2022, subject to the successful completion of the city's background check. 6, in the Tax Collector's Office, A is to approve the appointment of Gerard Jordan, clerk 1, full-time at the annual salary of $34,548, effective July 5th, 2022, subject to the successful completion of the city's background check. 7, in the police department, approve the appointment of Kyle Smith, a computer services technician, full-time at the annual salary of $65,000, effective July 5th, 2022, subject to the successful completion of the city's background check. B is to approve the appointment of Matthew Graff, clerk 1, full-time at the annual salary of $34,548, effective July 5th, 22, subject to the successful completion of the city's background check. 8 is in the Personnel Division to approve the FMLA, NJ, FLA leaves that are on file within the Division of Personnel. 9, which is not on anybody's legend right now, is in the Mayor's office, approval to re-advertise for a management specialist. Move for approval and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Okay, moving on, I have some items of mention in the 7th Ward. In the Department of Community Services, this is actually citywide. We're going to start a pilot program first Wednesday in July, I believe it's July 6th. This is at the Recycle Center on Donaldson Place. We're going to open it and keep it open until 8 p.m. And this is a trial period that will carry into September. And this is an effort to accommodate those residents that may not be able to, if they have extra, whether it's grass clippings that they missed to pick up, or if they have extra grass clippings, if it's recyclable materials such as cardboard, corrugated cardboard in specifics, you'll have until 8 o'clock p.m. If you can make it there after work, you can clear that stuff from your property. We're going to see how it works out, and we'll take it from there at the in September. We'll revisit it and see how well it worked or didn't work. In Memorial Park, work has begun at the tennis courts that are under construction for new servicing and new fencing. This is one of the ongoing projects that's in the park improvement program that's being paid for under a grant that Linden received in the amount of approximately $4 million. I believe the other park is Wilson Park, I think is the other park that's having a tennis court redone as well. We had a memorial dedication of the new roadway that leads into the redevelopment of the warehousing in Tremley Point. That roadway carries over a bridge that goes into the warehousing area, and it was named after Senator Joseph. It is named Senator Joseph Saliga Way. It was well attended. It was beautiful weather. The first one got rained out, and that was on June 4th. And we now have something to honor a great individual that was a very important part of this city. On June 3rd, over 60 volunteers and city workers, headed up by Senior Engineer Joe Kroback, joined Enviroscapes along with Phillips 66 and Infinium in replanting 66 trees and plants along Madison Avenue, which is part of the Rain Garden project. And pizza and beverages were provided by Phillips 66 and Infinium, and both were severely needed. I myself replanted 5 trees, and must have been over a dozen other trees that we pulled the deer protection baskets off and weeded out, and then placed a weed block back down around those particular plants. And I was pretty gassed after that. It was a long, hot day. But I want to thank everybody that participated. It turned out really well. And last but not least, I want to shout out to my neighbor, who's a Tremley Point native. He's a retired Linden Police Lieutenant, father of Stephanie Kroback, and father-in-law of Senior Engineer Joe Kroback, and also known as Santa Claus, Steve Hopday, on his return home from rehab. Steve is 88 years old, and he had fallen down his cellar steps. He laid there overnight into the next afternoon until Joe and Stephanie actually made a well visit and found him there. Fortunately, he didn't suffer any broken bones or concussions. And my hat's off to Steve. He is one tough dude. Must be the water in Trimley. Welcome back home, Steve. Thanks. The report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Toretto. Councilman Blaine?
Thank you, Council President. First of all, just like all the residents of Linden to know that road pavings have begun, so please be patient. I know we all want our streets to be paved. It has begun, so we ask for your patience. I'm tired of running over the bumps myself, but I'm being patient, and we ask for yours as well. Safety yellow curbs have begun throughout the city. You'll start to see that being done, begun early, so that's great news. They've also prepared all the picnic tables in the parks for the summer weather, which is also excellent to hear. In the 8th Ward, we're aware and we're going to do something about the lights over by 278, so that's being worked on. The 8th Ward building is going to be renovated. Later on, you'll hear about Memorial Park, some renovations over there. In terms of basic maintenance in the ward, if you see potholes around, please call in because our DPW department is not aware of every pothole, and if it exists on your block, you can call me, call the city, and we'll get that filled for you right away. One of the good news is in the 8th Ward, I saw on my way coming home from work where the shrubbery was growing on Park Avenue by the bridge. They cleaned both sides by the park and going towards the refinery, so all that shrubbery's been cleaned out and looks more presentable as people come into our town. I want to just give a real shout out to our DPW department because they're doing one heck of a job to help keep clean some of the trouble spots in the town. It's really rough on them, but I'll speak for the 8th Ward. I've mentioned a couple of streets. It's not pristine yet, but they do come around on a regular basis to clean those areas up. So hats off to our DPW department. Also, you'll hear about some guardrails that's going to go up on Park Avenue as well to over by the park, just to help because people are just speeding, and to protect citizens and our children. We're going to put some guardrails up there over by Park Avenue in New Brunswick and by the Park Avenue Bridge, so that's huge. Now, we're going into 4th of July in the summer, and I know we all want to get back together with our family and friends. We've gone through the pandemic, and we want to have a good time, but we have to be mindful of the noise ordinance that says noise, you have to turn down your music at 10 p.m. Be mindful of your neighbors. Everybody doesn't have the next day off, so let's be mindful of that. And that along with the fireworks. I know some people like to shoot off a little fireworks to celebrate the 4th of July, but be careful. Be careful and do not do it late at night, disturbing all the people in the neighborhood. That being said, one other thing, there's a huge increase in package theft, so those who have the Ring cameras, stay alert. If you see something, say something, especially with the pandemic and everyone's ordering something off Amazon. Even the oldest of all our citizens are ordering off Amazon because that's just the way of the world. So the other big thing that's happening, especially in the 8th Ward, but throughout the town, is they're stealing cat litter converters. So be careful where you park your car. Try to park your car in well-lit areas, and let's look out for each other. If you see something, just please say something. Last but not least, I'd like to welcome Councilwoman Hudak. Welcome. I know you'll do great. I've heard you speak a couple weeks ago. Welcome aboard, and it'd be a pleasure working with you. And before I leave, I just want to say happy birthday to Council President Michelle Yamakaitis.
Thank you, Councilman. Okay, Councilman Medina.
Yes, thank you, and good evening, everyone. First, I'd like to wish Council President a happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's awesome. It's funny, because I'm a Memorial Day baby, so no one ever remembers my birthday. I'm like, dude, Memorial Day. weekend baby, you know? But happy birthday.
Thank you.
And best of luck for everything for today and whatnot and the rest of the week. I didn't write I normally write things down for the Ninth Ward, but I'm going to have a short report. I want to first thank Councilwoman Ormond and Ralph Strano and Councilman Javik and the committee. We mentioned earlier about the late night, that we're going to do a pilot program for the recycling center. I think that's great for everyone in the city of Linden. Other towns do have late nights and weekend hours and whatnot, so I believe this is going to be a successful pilot. A lot of folks do work and they come in late and they commute and they just don't have the time to get to the recycling center. So I believe by having that one late night is going to alleviate a lot of problems and whatnot with cardboards, grass, et cetera. So I know it's a lot of work and the committee talked about it, so I just want to thank everyone involved, including the mayor as well, because he was also involved with the conversation. As far as the Ninth Ward, we're pretty, we're in good shape. We do have some roads that need to get paved and whatnot that I submitted. We did the markouts on Burwood, which is off of Raritan, if folks don't know. It's actually a one-way road, it's a dead-end road that busts into the Cranford borderline there, the industrial. So the folks there are gonna be excited to see that happening soon. Overall, I think the community is doing really well. We just added some benches at Sunnyside Park, now Paul Workmeister Park. We have growing families in the community. If you notice our parks, Wilson Park, Mcmanus Park, Paul Workmeister, Highland Park, or Calla Park, they're full of children. It's definitely a big burst of young new life, and we have to be cognizant of that. So we have some extra benches put into the park, and obviously other parks do require more benches and whatnot. The requests will be put in that we have them in stock, we'll install them, but we do not, then it has to go through a committee, because obviously you have to spend the money and whatnot. As far as everything else, also want to thank briefly the Board of Health and the Construction Code. Margaret Talk was back there. They have been addressing a lot of the high grass complaints. I know Councilman Roman was just speaking about a property in his ward. It's unbelievable what you see out there, and folks should know by now. So we have been lenient in the city of Linden, and at this point, I don't want to be lenient anymore. We need to do what we have to do to keep our community looking great for everyone. And I explain to people, when you let your property go, you're negatively affecting your neighbor. And we're all investors here. So we have to be cognizant of that. So they've been doing a great job. I'm submitting a lot. But overall, I think the community is doing great. We have a lot of new fresh faces, great people, new families. And just want to get more roads and more sidewalk done in the area and plant more trees. Also, real quick, I also want to congratulate the mayor for his recent award as well. I'm a big proponent of redevelopment here in the city of Linden. As long as it's responsible redevelopment, I'm in, all the way in. Anything that generates tax dollars, I'm all the way in. And lastly, just welcome our newly seated Councilwoman Hudak. You know I'm here for you. Anything you need, we can link up, meet. I know you have the resource, I mentioned this earlier, you have the resource of the mayor's office, but everyone here in the city of Linden, department heads and whatnot, very, very helpful, very helpful. And I think you're gonna do great, and look forward to working with you. So that concludes my report, Council President.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Councilwoman Hudak.
Good evening. I am humbled by the opportunity to serve the residents of the 10th Ward. I know I have big shoes to fill. However, I'm confident that I will earn your trust as your representative, and I want to thank the Honorable Mayor Armstead for his support and confidence. I look forward to working with my colleagues on the council, department heads, and the mayor's office, and I thank everyone in advance for their patience as I transition into this role.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. I'd like to welcome you aboard. Any help you need, please reach out. I'd like to also thank the other two applicants, Mr. Shahada and Mr. Moore. Thank you for your expressing interest in the position. Okay. from the library, Linden Library, we have Monday, June 27th is the opening of our Oceans of Possibility Summer Reading Sign-Up and Kickoff Party. There's going to be activities go from 10 a.m. that day to 2 p.m. It will be a great opportunity for the children to come to the library. They have a fitness program, a castle bounce house, story time and crafts. So please consider signing your children up for the summer reading program. It's very important that they read over the summer. On June 27th, also in the evening, the program is going to be Preserving Your Family History from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Registration is required. You can call 908-298-3830 or email dviviano@lindenpl.org. Okay, and also on July 6th, Lenape of New Jersey, an evening presentation. It's going to be a family event. All this information is available on the Linden Public Library website. The website is www.lindenpl.org. Okay, we're also going to have the return of the Polish Festival this year on September 17th, so please save the date. It's going to be on Wood Avenue from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. So again, that date is September 17th. We'll have our Marshal, I'm sure, will make his presence seen. Chief Hart is the Marshal this year for the Pulaski Day Parade Committee, so it's going to be a fun day. I'd like to also take this opportunity to thank Al Strydeski, one of my neighbors, for once again planting the flowers at the 8th Ward War Memorial on Greer Avenue and Park Avenue. He maintains that. It's one of the most beautiful monuments in the city. Faithfully, he goes out there and cleans the monument, makes sure waters the plants. We recently had the 2 shrubbery trees taken down. There's going to be replantings. So I want to thank him for being a good neighbor. That concludes my report for this evening. And congratulations, Mayor, on your Economic Development Award. Very nice honor. So, Mayor Armstead, without further ado.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My reports will be very short this evening. I actually have some good news with regards to our development down in Trimley Point called Linden Logistics. They'll be coming back in front of the planning board to discuss modifying their original plans. What they've proposed to the city is that they reduce the warehousing on one of the particular locations. I think they call it Building D and F. And what they're going to do is use it to store containers. Now, oddly enough, under our financial agreement, it's based on adjusted gross revenue. What that's going to do is bring an additional $250,000 to the city annually. So I think it's a good thing. Now, in addition to that, what we're going to do, when they come in front of the board, we're going to recommend that they be allowed to stack the containers a little bit higher, like maybe one more story higher, seeing that this area is really out of sight and out of mind, and that will increase revenues as well. So the $250,000 anticipated increased revenues could easily go to $350,000 anticipated increased revenues. So I think it's a good thing. Also, we had a meeting this week with to discuss the Linden Chlorine plant. That's the LCP property, which is contaminated, and the talks were very fruitful, very productive. This is a tremendous asset that the city has once it's cleaned up, and the rail spurs and the rail lines that could be placed there far exceed any type of revenues that we would be able to receive by putting warehousing there. So I think this is going to be an asset the city will be able to keep for years to come. It's going to generate tremendous revenues for the town. That's in the 7th Ward of our town, again, right next to Linden Logistics. So again, for years that property was contaminated. We've been working with the DEP and the Environmental Protection Agency to get it cleaned up. We're going to get it cleaned up and capped. And the beauty of this is that to clean a site that's going to have just rails on it is a lot less expensive than trying to clean a site that you're going to have to build warehousing. The standard is a lot different, so I think the city's going to get off with not having to spend nearly as much money as we thought we would have to spend to have it cleaned up. Or should I say the Environmental Protection Agency, there are going to be grants to help get it cleaned up, but I think it's going to cost a lot less than we initially anticipated. And last but certainly not least, since we're talking about money, there's a bill in the Assembly called S-330-A. And basically what this bill is proposing is that towns like Linden be allowed to receive their gross receipt tax again. Many, many years ago, well, they took what we have, we receive gross receipts on energy that we produce in the town. The state, in its infinite wisdom, decided to take our money and spread it out to balance their budget, which was unfair. Towns like Linden, who worked so hard to bring this industry into our town, we deserve to receive the gross receipts. So what the state has done is basically taken that money to balance their budget. Well, now there's a bill been proposed now to give that money back to us. In fact, it's $331 million that won't just go to Linden. It'll be divided amongst towns that are in the same situation that we are, that produce energy. It's going to be approximately $3 million to all the towns that were affected. And going forward, should the bill pass, cities like Linden will once again be able to keep their gross receipts revenues, which is a few $1 million every year as well. So we're looking forward to this legislation being passed. We've been working very close with our state senator and our assembly people, and if we can somehow, if this bill somehow passes, it's going to do a great deal to help continue to stabilize property taxes in our town. And I think that's what the objective here is to keep taxes level in this town. At least that's what we've been trying to do, and I think we've been doing a pretty good job of it, guys. 6 years in a row, no tax increase. You should be proud of yourselves. That concludes my report, everybody. Thank you.
Well, Mayor, you had 20 seconds left. First time in over a year you did a record tonight.
In that case, I forgot to congratulate Christina Hudak. And again, I think she's going to do a fine job. And I was going to sing happy birthday to you, but now since I don't have time, I'm going to.
Later, Mayor. Okay. We'll move on to, let's see, yep. We're going to move on to the resolutions. Okay, we have resolutions 2022, 2021 through 2022, 257.
Council President?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolutions 221 through 257 and request.
That's my thing.
And request a second.
Second.
Yeah, I'm 7.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Yes. Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Point of order here, isn't there an additional?
We've got to
We'll
vote on
get to
these
that.
first.
Okay, yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, we have additional resolutions that are going to be read.
The first one is Resolution 2022-258, resolution appointing Joseph Infante, a member of the Housing Authority of the City of Linden. Be it resolved by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Joseph Infante, residing in the City of Linden, New Jersey, shall be, and he is hereby appointed a member of the Housing Authority of Linden to serve a 5-year term effective June 21st, 2022, and terminating June 20th, 2027, and until his successor shall have been appointed and shall have been qualified. Section 2, the appointment is made pursuant to the ordinance of the City of Linden entitled, an ordinance creating the Housing Authority of the City of Linden approved May 7th, 1965, and said member shall have and exercise all powers and duties prescribed by ordinance and the local housing authority law, NJSA 55:14A-1 at sequence.
Okay, can we have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Resolution 2022-259, resolution appointing Sherry Humphrey, a member of the Housing Authority of the City of Linden. Be it resolved by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Sherry Humphrey, residing in the City of Linden, New Jersey, shall be and she is hereby appointed a member of the Housing Authority of the City of Linden to serve a 5-year term effective June 21, 2022, and terminating June 20th, 2027, until her successor shall have been appointed and shall have been qualified. Section 2, this appointment is made pursuant to the ordinances of the City of Linden entitled An Ordinance Creating the Housing Authority of the City of Linden, approved May 7th, 1965, and said member shall have and exercise all powers and duties prescribed by said ordinance and the local housing authority law, NJSA 55:14A-1 in sequence.
Okay, can we have a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Resolution 2022-260, resolution appointing Danny Orlean, a member of the Housing Authority of the City of Linden. Be it resolved by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Danny Orlean, residing in the City of Linden, New Jersey, shall be and she is hereby appointed a member of the Housing Authority of the City of Linden to serve a 5-year term effective June 21, 2022, and terminating June 20, 2027, and until her successor shall have been appointed and shall have been qualified. Section 2, the appointment is made pursuant to the ordinances of the City of Linden entitled An Ordinance in Creating the Housing Authority of the City of Linden, approved May 7th, 1965, and the said member shall have and exercise all powers and duties prescribed by said ordinance and the local housing authority law, NJSA 55:14A-1 in sequence.
Okay, can we have a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. All right, we're now moving on to ordinances for consideration, beginning with Ordinance 6643.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $176,000 for improvements to St. Mark's Park and authorizing the issuance of $119,700 in bonds or notes for financing part of the appropriation.
Okay, can we have a motion for introduction of Ordinance 6643, please?
Council President, I move for the introduction of Ordinance 6643 and request a second. Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6644, please.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $200,200 for acquisition of various items of capital equipment for the police department and authorizing the issuance of $190,190 in bonds or notes of the city for financing part of the appropriation.
Okay, can we have a motion for introduction, please?
Council President, I'd like to make a motion to introduce 66-44 and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6645.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 Traffic of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999. Passed November 23rd, 1999, and approved November 24th, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 7-22, stop intersections shall be and the same is hereby amended as follows. Add Southwood Avenue and Tremley Point Road. Stop signs shall be installed on Tremley Point Road.
Okay, can we have a motion for introduction, please?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I'd like to make a motion to introduce ordinance 66-45 and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6646.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Linden adopting the redevelopment plan entitled Redevelopment Plan Block 469, Lot 38.06, 750 West Edgar Road, pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, NJSA 40A:12A-1 at sequence.
Okay, can we have a motion for introduction of ordinance 6646, please?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I'd like to make a motion to introduce ordinance 66-46 and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine? Yes. Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6647.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 Traffic of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23rd, 1999, and approved November 24th, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 7 Traffic shall be, and the same is hereby amended as follows. Add new Section 7-48, Linden Plaza Shopping Center.
Okay, can we have a motion for introduction of ordinance 6647, please?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I'd like to make a motion to introduce ordinance 66-47 and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak? Ms. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 6648.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $902,000 for City Hall chiller plant replacement and authorizing the issuance of $856,900 in bonds or notes of the city for financing part of the appropriation.
Okay, can we have a motion for introduction, please? Ordinance 6648.
Council President, I'd like to make a motion for ordinance 6648 and request a second.
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 Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. All right, we're now going to have comments from members of the public in attendance on city business only. No political, personal, or derogatory comments, not to exceed 3 minutes. Okay? We'll start with Sandra Mansueto. Please state your name and address for the record, ma'am.
Yes, Sandra Mansueto, 1916 Crescent Parkway.
Go ahead.
Happy birthday,
Thank you.
by the way. And I'm all wet, I came in late, and unfortunately, I asked my sister to put my name down because I was gonna ask, but I really don't know at this moment what to ask. The only question I can think of right now is that there's a home that's being built on Stockton Road. And it seems like the size of that home is tremendously big. It takes up a lot of the property. There's like no green space left within the area between the homes next to it.
Right.
And that was just some concern. I don't know if anyone here might have a response to that. And I'm looking at you, Mr. Medina, because she's not here. And I don't know if you know which home I'm referring to. It's the one that last time I was here, I spoke about the homes, referencing Section 8. And it's the home right next door.
All right. Mr. Rotato, are you familiar with this? It's Stockton Road.
It's right across the circle. They actually knocked it down. The person who had lived there, I think his name was Bob, he passed away, and I guess relatives sold it. No one was aware that it was being put up for sale because everything happened so quickly. And a contractor, I think, purchased it. I'm not sure if it was recently sold, but it seems like it's being built an extension 16 feet approximately from what the home had as a background, because they're digging in, they're making the basement deep, you know, they're extending out the basement, and it's going into the backyard of the home on the other side.
Right. Mr. Ritaka, could you have that looked into? Can you have that checked into?
Yeah, I'll look into it, but yeah, it's a new home,
It is a new-
it's a new home, it's being built within its building envelope, so they're allowed to build to the limits of that building envelope. So, I mean, I could take your name or whatever from home, I could look into it tomorrow. Like, you know, exactly what's going on.
Okay.
Okay. All
This
right.
was just a question that came up at the moment.
All right.
Okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Hi. Oh, one more thing. I'm sorry, I wanted to thank you, Mr. Hart, for the presence of the police in the area. I really appreciate it. It was mentioned last time, and I greatly appreciate seeing them come by more often. So I hope it continues. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Mimi? Okay. Okay, please state your name and address for
Good
the record.
evening, BB Amzad, 1207-4 Stockton Circle. I just have two concerns, or maybe it's a request. Since it's the summertime and we cook a lot, we only have one garbage pickup a week. Is there any way we can have two garbage pickup during the summertime?
Okay.
And another thing is that recently I noticed that there been a lot of speeding in the circle. I live in the circle. If they could put speed bump in the circle, because it's not a main road, it's a circle and there's kids there, and there's cars coming speeding, which we have on tape. And I did call the cops twice.
So
when it
you're
happened.
requesting a speed bump?
Yes.
All right. Councilwoman Ormond is in charge of our traffic
dear,
committee.
How are you? I'm good.
Yep.
We'll talk afterwards. I'll give you my telephone number or whatever, we'll exchange and we'll discuss.
Okay.
We'll bring it up for our next review meeting.
And the garbage pickup twice a week would be excellent.
We'll
because
have
we
pub-
cook a lot. We West Indian like to cook, and it smells. You can't keep it out there like.
And I haven't been invited to dinner yet?
Don't worry, you will soon.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all.
All right.
Thank you.
you. All right, and Patty DeCampos. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, can we have a motion to close the public comment portion of the meeting?
I'd like to make a motion to close the public comment section and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Blaine?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Abstain.
Mrs. Yermakaitis?
Yes. Okay, comments from members of the governing body. Does anybody on the dais wish to speak at this time? Okay,
I would like to.
okay. All right. Councilman Mohammed, I'll start with you.
Council President, I just wish you a happy birthday. I know you're 18 years old, and you're old enough to hold on to the gavel, so we wish you many, many more. Thank you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Okay. Councilman Javik?
Yes, Council President, I also want to wish you a very happy birthday. And I'd like to welcome our newest councilwoman, Christine Hudak, to the dais. It's going to be a pleasure working with you. Also, congratulations to the mayor on his award. He was outstanding, by the way. And everyone else, have a great 4th of July.
Okay. Okay, Councilwoman Ormond.
Yes, congratulations to our newly sworn-in councilwoman, Hudak. Welcome. We're a great bunch. You're going to have a lot of fun. Some headaches, but a lot of fun. I would also like to say happy birthday to my partner in crime, Thelma. Unfortunately, Kim Kardashian wrecked Marilyn Monroe's dress, so I can't sing happy birthday, Council President.
Oh, boy.
So So, but happy birthday, and everyone have a wonderful 4th of July. We will talk about the speed humps. I'll give you my telephone number, and just like I said, just slow down, clowns, in our town, is what I'm going to say, okay? To all the people that are speeding.
All right, thank you. All right, Councilwoman Caldwell.
Yes, I want to welcome Councilwoman Hudak to the dais. Welcome, and I'm happy you're here. If you need anything, just call me. And also, I want to congratulate the mayor on his award. I'm proud of you, Mayor. I have a story to tell. He used to be my councilman. That's all I conclude.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman. All right, Councilman Strano?
Thank you, Council President. I'd also like to echo those comments. Welcome, Christine. It's always good to have another person who has their roots from the 7th Ward up here on council. Let's not forget that, right? And I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fun in the future. I just wanted to make a comment regarding parks. I usually don't subscribe to social media. To me, it's just a bunch of cheap shots, although there are times when it's nice to see families or friends, conversing in a pleasant manner. But there was one that I just had to pay a little attention to, and it was regarding conditions of our parks. So I decided I was going to do a cursory survey on my own, and I just got this impression that our parks were looking a little dreary. And no matter what we do, it was something that was brought up at the Department of Community Services meeting, and give credit where credit's due. Jerry Bishop.
All right,
I needed a couple seconds?
Yeah.
All right. Jerry Bishop said that, we really need to do a comprehensive, across the city, look at all our parks. Because when we do go to other towns and we see some really nice-looking parks, they're eye-catching, and ours just seem to just not have that pizzazz that we're looking for. So I just want to let everybody in the city know that we're launching a investigation into doing a 5-year plan where maybe we'll be doing 1 or 2 parks in a ward per year. And hopefully at the end of those 5 years, we'll have really pretty parks with, the proper type of recreation for everyone, old and young alike.
Okay.
And I just want to say happy 4th of July to everybody, and please be safe.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Councilman Blaine, did you have your hand up? Okay, Councilman Medina.
Real quick, thank you, Council President, and I'm happy to hear about the comprehensive report. Councilman Strano, I think I have 6 in the 9th Ward, so I look forward to looking at that report. It's going to take a while. Just real quick, you said 1206 Stockton. I just wanted to make sure that that was the correct address. No, the property that's being built. Okay, I found 1208. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry to ask the question. I just want to make sure I got clarification on the address. I couldn't find anything. And also on the speed humps, I did just mention to Councilwoman Hudak that the first thing I did in 2013, my first year as elected official, was to get the speed tables approved, not humps, speed tables approved in the city of Linden. So we should, I keep on reiterating and emphasizing that we should really, really start using those resources that we have available to us to try to control the speeding issue throughout town. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Hudak, did you want to say anything?
I'd just like to wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you. Hey, Mayor, you good?
Okay, I'm going to sing happy birthday to you. No,
Oh.
just kidding. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You gonna put the dress on?
Yeah. Okay. The next council meetings will be as follows. Council conference meeting Monday, July 18th at 6 p.m. in the council chambers room, City Hall. Council conference meeting prior to council meeting, Tuesday, July 19th at 6 p.m. in the council chambers, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council meeting Tuesday, July 19th, 2022 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers. These meetings will be held in person. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Third.
Ormond?
Yes.
Zavik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed?
Yes.
Roman?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Have a good night, everyone.
Did the mayor give his report?